Hello guys, my name is Luca from AudioTribe YouTube channel, and in this video I will make a cross comparison review between the most common used speakers from Sony. So we have here the Sony ULT Field1, here we have the Sony ULT Field7, here we have the Sony XV900, and this is the biggest party speaker from Sony that we can buy in 2025, the Sony ULT Tower10. So in this video we will see which is the best speaker and why, and of course I will tell you the direct competitor of each speaker from JBL. And at the end of this video I will tell you the product from Sony that I used every day and I think it is the best in the world in its class. But first let's talk about the specs, because the specs are very different. So the first one is the Sony ULT Field1. It costs around $80 to $90, and I will not talk to you about the drivers that it is inside of this speaker. I will make a sound test with it, because I think the sound test it is much more important than the drivers that are inside of the Sony ULT Field1. As you see, it looks very good. It has the passive radiators, it has the charging USB-C port, it has internal battery, it has 1, 2, so it has only 2 levels of ULT of bass, and of course you can connect it to the Bluetooth of your phone, and of course you can find it in different colors. Now on the bottom we will find the Sony ULT Field7 that I think it looks very good. It has even lights on the passive radiators. Of course it has the ULT button, that has an extra level of bass compared to the Sony speaker, the Sony ULT Field1. And of course let's see the interface buttons. As we see here, we have
battery about 40%,
a battery level that indicates us the level of the battery, a light button that changes the color, and other inputs. Of course we will gonna make a sound test with each one, because we want to see how loud are these speakers one compared to the other one. Now let's go to the big boys. Here we have the Sony XV900. This is an amazing speaker because for its size it has an internal battery. Of course it has a 12.6-inch woofer, 2 mid speakers and 2 tweeters on the front, 2 tweeters on the sides and 2 tweeters on the top. Of course the lights are very good, but unfortunately are not that good as the JBL Party Box 520. And this is the Sony ULT Tower10 that looks amazing. As you see, it is the most aggressive one between all of these 4 speakers, and it has the same 12.6 woofer, it has 2 mid speakers, and of course it has 2 tweeters on the front and 2 tweeters on the back. So this is the whole lineup. Now let's talk about the price. The Sony ULT Field1 cost around $80 to $90. The Sony ULT Field7 cost around $250 to $300, and the Sony XV900 with the Sony ULT Tower10 cost similar as price range. It costs between $800 and $900 depending on the stores that you can buy it. The difference between these two speakers is that the Sony XV900 comes with an internal battery that lasts up to 25 hours of playing time, while the Sony ULT Tower10 doesn't have an internal battery, but it has the wireless microphone, and here it is the place that you can put your microphone. Of course it has 2 on each side, it has the place for microphone. And now we will gonna test it at full volume, and with a decibel meter placed in exactly the same position we will measure the decibels and see which is the most powerful one between all of this, and of course what are the difference in sound quality. First will be the Sony ULT Field1. We will put the decibel meter on DBC because we want to measure the intensity and not only the loudness, and we were gonna put it on the maximum level of sound.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on, I can't keep track of them all. From people dropping a bomb to people.
So the Sony ULT Field1 recorded a maximum peak of 90.5 decibels at the maximum level of sound. Of course, this is not that loud, but it is okay-ish for its size. The sound, it is not amazing, the bass, it is not amazing, so I cannot recommend you to buy this small speaker. Of course, the competitor, the direct competitor of the Sony ULT Field1, it is the JBL Flip 6 or JBL Flip 7, that in my opinion it is slightly better. Now we will gonna go to the Sony ULT Field 7 at the maximum level of sound. So we will leave the decibel meter on DBC and we will gonna play the song.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on, I can't keep track of them all. From people dropping a bomb to people putting up walls. I feel like life is on hold, perception stuck in a vault. I know that time can heal all, but
So it reached 104.8 decibels. This is very good for such a small speaker, but you can definitely tell that all the drivers are put to their limits, you know. The bass, it is not amazing, the sound quality at maximum level, it is not amazing. So again, unfortunately, I will not recommend you to buy the Sony ULT Field 7. Of course, the direct competitor, it is the JBL Boombox 3 or the JBL Boombox Pro 4, but I will not tell you which is better. Of course, the sound was made when the speaker connected to the power source, so that's why we had these very good results. When it is not connected to the power source, the sound will not be that loud. Now we will gonna go to the Sony XV900. We will leave the decibel meter on DBC and we will gonna play on the XV900.
take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on.
So the Sony XV900 recorded a maximum peak of 111.2 decibels, and I can definitely tell you that the Sony XV900, it sounds very good. You can definitely feel the bass, the mids, the highs, and the sound, it is very balanced. I really love how this speaker sounds, but unfortunately, compared to its size, it doesn't give us that much sound. You know, 110, it is very good, but it is not that much for a size this big. Of course, the measurements were made with the speaker connected to the power source, and of course with the mega bass activated. So the Sony sounds very good. I can definitely recommend you, but take into account that it is not that loud. Now we will gonna go to the biggest party speaker from Sony, the Sony ULT Tower10. That is, in my opinion, an amazing speaker. So the decibel meter, it is on DBC, and now let's play the song.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all.
116 decibels. Now this is loud. So we have the results. The Sony ULT Field1 recorded a maximum peak of 90.5 decibels. I can definitely tell you that I am not a fan of this product. Now the Sony ULT Field7 recorded a maximum peak of 104.8 decibels. I can definitely tell you that this is loud, especially when it is connected to the power source, but the sound, it is not that good at the maximum level of sound. You can definitely tell that all the drivers are stretched to their limits, and I really don't like it. At 60% of the volume it sounds good, but at 80, 90 or 100% it is, I don't like it. And the bass, it is louder, but the bass, it is not that strong, you know, it is not a balanced speaker. Now the Sony XV900 sounds very good. It reached a maximum peak of 111.2 decibels. This is loud, but not crazy loud. It sounds very good. The sound, it is very balanced. It has an internal battery, but it costs $800, so for me it is a little bit expensive for the sound that we get, but don't get me wrong, the sound, it is very good. And of course, Sony XV900 has a direct competitor from JBL, and it is the JBL Party Box 520. Both of them have internal battery, but in my opinion JBL, it is better. And now let's go to the biggest, the Sony ULT Tower10, that reach 116 decibels. This is very loud. It is extremely loud. The sound, it is balanced. The bass, it is very present. It shakes the house. You can do a big party outdoors with only one speakers, but it costs 800, 900 depending on the store. It is expensive. Should I recommend you this speaker? I will recommend you if you are a fan of Sony speakers, but if you are not a fan of Sony and fan of JBL, I will definitely recommend you the JBL Party Box Ultimate. I made a couple of tests with the JBL Party Box Ultimate versus the Sony ULT Tower10. The Sony ULT Tower10 won on each test, but I prefer the JBL Party Box Ultimate. Which one do you prefer? And at the end of this video, it remains to show you the product that I really love from Sony, and I will not replace this product with anything in the world. So these are the Sony WX1000 MX5. These are amazing headphones. They have noise isolation, they have noise cancelling, they have smart function. When you take it out, the movie will stop playing. When they have smart controls here, they have an internal battery that lasts, I don't know, 30-40 hours. It is amazing. So I tested JBL headphones, Sony headphones, Bose headphones, even Skull Candy, and these are the best. 1000 XM5 from Sony are the best. So which product from Sony do you recommend, you know, and which one do you like it? Because they are very different. One sounds very good, one doesn't sound very good. Which one do you like it? Feel free to subscribe our AudioTribe YouTube channel, and please hit that like button. Cheers.